Hello friend, Chris J. Simpson here, author of the Amazon #1 bestseller, The All-Inclusive Diet. Have you ever wondered what it would take for you to have a perfect day, a day of high energy and drive and motivation and inspiration and intuition, and a day where you had a peacefulness, a contentness about you, just where everything was in balance? And of course, a day that you were able to manage your weight, that you had control over your lifestyle, that you had the energy and the balance and the state of mind that it would take to have some control and have some forward thinking in the foods that you eat and how you prepare them. And also being aware of your emotions and also managing your emotions so that they don't hijack you. And what about the energy it would take to get out there for a walk in the morning, or maybe after dinner, or maybe it's yoga for you, or it's Pilates, or maybe going to the gym is your thing, and just having that inner energy to get into the gym on a regular basis. And what about this, the all forgotten time for you, to have that energy and motivation to take some time out and actually take some time for yourself to take care of yourself, for some self-care. And what about putting your head on the pillow and having a sound night's sleep? What would it take to have all of those things happen, to different degrees on different days, of course, but always on a higher altitude, a higher level, and closer to, your expectations of yourself, of what you know you're capable of doing, but sometimes you just don't have the energy and you feel so out of whack and out of balance that it's almost impossible to have a day like that, like a perfect day. I had to ask myself the question, what was a perfect day for me? My story is a story of recovery. My story is one of powerlessness and striving for empowerment, which I'm still striving here today, but I'm out of that hole that I dug for myself. And this is all a result of this addiction problem that I had. But what I realized was that I didn't have a health problem, a weight problem, an addiction problem. I actually had a power problem. I did not know how to cultivate energy and take sort of the energy that I needed from other people and make sure that I had enough energy to fix my problems. And I didn't have any balance in my life neither. My life was upside down. Once I got it topside again, I would go back to my old sort of way of living and I would be upside down again. And I could never figure it out. And I tried just about everything, every different type of book you could imagine, every type of program that I could buy into and learn from, and nothing seemed to work until I was at the point where I was on my knees and I didn't really want to be here anymore. I felt helpless and hopeless, and that's where I needed to be. Sometimes you need a breakdown to have a breakthrough. Well, that's exactly where I was, and thank God that I got there. It took me a decade to get there, unfortunately. Would have liked to have got there sooner, but that process is what brought me in front of you here today to share what I found and basically how I understand problems, self-created problems like weight problems. First of all, there is a long-term sustainable solution. And second of all, you're probably not looking in the right place if you have tried to look for it before. It was through my journey in recovery that I really learned that I was always looking in the wrong places when I was trying to solve my weight problem, my health problem, addiction problem. And it really took a long time for me to understand how to look at things differently, a different perspective. And it's almost a paradox, because when we have these kinds of problems, our human nature is to say, listen, use your willpower, straighten up, get things in order, and do it now and do it fast. And you should be able to do this. What's wrong with you? Get yourself together, get this cleaned up, get this fixed up. You're a mess. And these are the kinds of dialogues that we have with ourselves when we're taking a look at these self-created problems in the way that our human nature wants to look at it. And I was through with that. I tried just about everything. all the conventional ways of solving my problems, my weight problem. I went on every diet. I tried all the exercise programs. I tried the diet and the exercise, but nothing seemed to work for the long term. It worked as long as my will was strong, but eventually my will would become weak and I would have that breakdown again, and then the cycle would repeat itself over and over again. So when I was in recovery, I started looking for things that made me feel energetic, that really made me feel like I was in control of my lifestyle, that there was some sort of balance and equilibrium, and I was centered and I was grounded. And I came up with what's called the short list. And these are things that I have learned that I can always go to, and they'll always energize me, and they'll always make me feel at ease and contentment. So this is my short list. The first thing is social sharing and supporting. So when I'm not feeling empowered and I feel a lot of those fear-based feelings, any feelings of resentment is the number one for at least myself and for a lot of the clients that I help out. This is the feeling, this fear-based feeling that can really draw all of our power and bring us down into that powerless state. There are fear-based emotions too, so jealousy, envy, anxiety, depression, guilt, shame. The list goes on and on and on. And these are all low energy, fear-based feelings that really we're attracted to. Our human nature would be attracted to those because these are the type of feelings that have the most pull. They're the easiest feelings for us to attach and connect to. And that's why we're always fighting that connection and sort of that uphill climb. We can't even camp out on the mountain. We got to keep climbing this mountain. This mountain is our life, of course, and what we're trying to avoid is have it pull us down, so we have to start all over again. So social sharing and supporting is one of the first things that I do when I'm feeling that I got a power draw going on, and I might not even know why. I might not even have sort of that fear-based feeling right in front of my face, so I know what it is. Sometimes I really need to get on the phone, or I need to go see somebody or have someone come over, and I need to have a chat with them, and I need to share and express myself. And sometimes it's the opposite, and this is where I'm going to support somebody else. And I still get that energetic feeling, that feeling of power, because I'm giving somebody else back their power. So it's a bit of a paradox there. It goes both ways, because when I share sort of my problems and my concerns and ask for advice, or don't even ask for advice, I just want someone to listen to me, then I get energy from that. I'm sort of releasing all the energy that is trying to be pushed down, or I'm pushing down all of those feelings that really need to be expressed. We need to let them out, because pushing them down, that's me pushing them down, and that's a lot of work. It really is. So when I get out of my own way, what ends up happening is automatically I just feel elevated. Automatically I just feel empowered, and that's what I was looking for. So the second thing is walking. It's something that I've started more recently now. There wasn't too many bodybuilders back in the day did a lot of walking, right? We did our cardio, of course, but walking really wasn't what we would consider cardio. So walking now is what I use. It's on my short list. I use it for energy, and I also use it not just for physical energy, but also for mental energy. It really clears my head as well. And reading also made it on my short list. My mother taught me life through the eyes of a librarian, so I still have a fascination with books. I find that they're so energetic. Journaling is also something that really helps me be aware of my feelings and my emotions, and get a little bit more subjective about them, and sort of clear my head. And putting pen to paper has always done that for me. It's allowed me to really get perspective on what's really going on. So that's on my short list, along with writing, a little bit different in the sense that now I'm writing prayers and poems and quotes, and I'm also an author as well. So I really enjoy sort of expressing myself and teaching others, especially when it comes to things like we're talking about today. We're talking about the billion-dollar question, how to keep the weight off. But I think what we're really talking about is is how to have that feeling, okay, that we've already lost the weight. And that's what we're really searching for. That's what we're really after. That's what we want to hold on to, because when we do, okay, we also keep the weight off. And also eating, but eating certain foods, of course. So these are the high energy foods, are fruits and vegetables and whole grains and lean proteins. And I prefer to have smaller meals. And these are the things that I go after when I'm starting to feel drained. And exercising, of course, with my background, I'm still at it. I'm still working out. And, I prefer the old traditional way of barbells and dumbbells, but I've been really opened up to so many other different ways of moving, because that's really all it is. And it's kind of another paradox, a sense that we're burning off energy as we're working out. But don't you feel better after a walk or after a cardio session or after, some time in the gym? You feel more energized, even though you've expended a lot of energy in whatever activity you were doing. And that's why it's on my short list, because although it takes a lot of motivation to get started, I always feel better after. I always feel more energized, and I always feel more balanced. So that's my short list for cultivating energy and restoring balance in my life. I can always count on these 7 things. And when I'm practicing these 7 things, and I don't practice them every day, some days are better than others, but I know they're always my go-to, and they're things that I enjoy doing. And yeah, sure, they take a little bit of get up and go to get them started, but I know once they start, I know how I'm going to feel afterwards. And that's sort of the motivation that I have. And there's also another really important motivation for me, is that I never want to get into that low energy, powerless kind of mode that I know that I'm susceptible to, because I'm human. I'm just like everybody else. And although I feel like I have a lot of natural energy, there's always those forces that are always trying to pull me down as well. And maybe you feel that way as well. But I want to know what's on your short list, and come up with at least 7 things that that you could go to for cultivating energy and restoring balance, just like I do. And they might be pastimes, things that you've thought that you had to give up because of all the responsibilities that you've taken on, maybe, for your career and you're advancing that way, or if you've started a new business, or, maybe you're a parent like me. I'm a single father, so I get it. And I know that, when the kids are around, it's kids time. It's not Chris time. And, just all the other responsibilities that we've taken on over the years now that we're adults and we have to be responsible. So maybe think back, and maybe there's some things in your past that made you feel that way that will still make you feel that way today. That's what's really interesting, is a lot of things in my past, I'm doing them today, and I'm getting the same feelings that I did when I was like 12 or 16 years old. It's phenomenal. It really is, that nothing's really changed, although, I'm 3 times that age now. Or maybe there's something in the future that you've always wanted to try, but you just didn't have the courage to go out there and investigate and find out how you could start and sort of take that first step into that new space. And I get it. It's pretty scary, especially, as we get older and into adulthood. Sometimes we just don't think that we have the abilities, right? The physical abilities, or sometimes we've just got so stuck in our ways that it's so scary to get out of that space that we're familiar with. So maybe there is something that's been on your radar and you've sort of discounted and said, no, I'm too old, or I'm too this, or I'm too that. So this is an opportunity to wipe all of that clean. It's a clean slate. So erasing all of the circumstances of your life, and not even thinking about how much courage or how much bravery you would have to go out there and try those things that you've been thinking about trying for so long. So getting rid of all of that just for this moment, and writing down what you've always had maybe on your bucket list of things that you've really, really wanted to try, but just really never had the courage, or you let circumstances and sort of your life say no to all of those things that you really have some genuine interest in. So go ahead and make that short list. And until then, my friend, keep your head out of the sand and in the clouds. Dream, believe, and inspire to aspire.